Showers and thunderstorms will be spreading across southern Plains State and the Outer Banks of the Carolinas today.
But it's the sweltering heat that will hit the southeast and spread to parts of the mid-Atlantic.
We'll have the latest up next on WeatherScope for the Saturday morning.
A scope of coverage you won't find anywhere else. This is WeatherScope This Morning.
Good Saturday morning to you. This is Jodi Saeland and I'm Cheryl Lemke. And last night we had some really powerful thunderstorms that tore across the upper Midwest, some spying tornadoes and a lot of damage.
That's right, and winds, getting some of these severe statements, the winds were gusting to 70 and 80 miles an hour. They had hail. Some of the thunderstorms were producing 1 inch to 2 inches in a very short period of time.
Really nasty weather, and besides the severe weather, we've also had the big heat wave going on across the south.
That's right. We're used to it in the south, but today it's going to eke once again into the D.C. area.
Very uncomfortable.
That's right. Let's talk about storms first, Cheryl. In fact, we're going to talk about the severe weather that rumbled on through Minnesota last night. Now, this tornado, this was seen near Plymouth, Minnesota, which is just west of the metro area of Minneapolis. Around 7:30 last night, the twister moved east. Now, houses, barns, and crops suffered damage while many trees were uprooted. Luckily, no injuries were reported. Meanwhile, the storm made its way into the metro Minneapolis area. This is a shot from the tower cam there on University Avenue. We're looking on toward downtown Minneapolis and then scanning over toward St. Paul. And you can see, as we zoomed in, you can see the actual funnel that was spotted on the tower cam. So once again, Metro Minneapolis talking about damage even on into the Hennepin County area. We had the tornadoes reported. Now, the satellite radar composite in motion shows us the complex that headed on in through the Minneapolis area, moved off through the western parts of Wisconsin. In fact, this starts, there it is, that same complex moved through western Wisconsin, and now it really has dissipated in intensity. But boy, our thunderstorms have just carried themselves across Iowa and now moving off into the western parts of Illinois. So we'll talk about it. We'll break it down for you. Little cluster of thunderstorms just to the south of the Lincoln area, but the real rough stuff is right here from around Dubuque, Iowa, through the Quad Cities, down on through Quincy. These are pushing off toward the east, and they extend even down on through Oklahoma. So you know when it's a very active morning, it's going to be an active afternoon, and that is what is on tap for this Saturday from Fort Smith all the way through the Ozarks, pushing on toward Cape Girardeau, and even on in through Nashville and Chattanooga. Complex of thunderstorms hanging together, pushing on toward the east. If you live in Knoxville or Bristol, Tennessee, looks like you're going to get some thunderstorms. Now, we saw thunderstorms rumbling all across the southeast last night. The thunderstorms just popped up in intensity. Today, we could see garden variety thunderstorms again. We do have some special marine warnings out until 10:45 for this little cell here on the Outer Banks. So boaters, swimmers, surfers, whatever you're doing in the water, beware. That thing is just lurking on the shore. We also have some problems here. Once again, same area getting hit over and over again. The Gulf coastal areas right in the coastal bend of Florida on over toward Ocala along Interstate 75. This is the area we're watching for severe weather today. We could see some strong storms. The atmosphere is definitely moist enough. And I'll tell you what, that moisture is causing some problems for the folks in Texas with all the humidity, right, Cheryl?
We are certainly seeing some very toasty weather indeed. Now, the heat wave may have broken across the Midwest, but still the heat is alive and well across the South, and that does include Texas. But the heat didn't stop the Dallas Cowboys from going through preseason practice yesterday. They were tackling each other as well as tackling the heat as temperatures soared into the high 90s. And with the humidity factored in, well, it felt like 107. So it has been unbearably hot across Texas. Let's check out Dallas, Texas right now. Well, last week we saw temperatures in the 90s, and again yesterday the high was 99 degrees for Dallas, Texas. And it promises to get even hotter as we go through time. By Monday, highs could be cracking the century mark, and that is a smidgen above normal for this time of the year. But besides Texas, it's been very hot and very oppressive, too, across the entire southeast. As you can see, the high yesterday was some 92 degrees for Hot Springs, 93 for Jackson, Mississippi. It topped off with 91 degrees for Nashville and about 95 degrees for Atlanta.
A couple of days, we're looking at rain.
With all this hot weather out there, what's the best way to cool off than to head on down to the beach, right?
That's right. In fact, we're going to have a look at the water temperatures from coast to coast coming up next. Stay tuned.
Do the calls you make fit into an MCI calling circle?
But my family makes all kinds of calls.
WeatherScope This Morning.
Good morning. morning, and thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Channel. Jodi, Saeland, and Cheryl Lemke with you, keeping an eye on some pretty rough thunderstorms across the upper Midwest last night.
Yeah, especially around Minnesota, your old stomping ground.
That's right.
Some tornadoes. A lot of damage, too, done last night.
That's right, and for the folks across the South, still suffering with the heat.
I know my air conditioner has been running nonstop, and boy, the heat is continuing for the weekend.
That's right. I know that some folks have actually had the electricity going on and off because there's been an overuse of power.
I wouldn't be surprised about that,
Yeah, that is awful. It is awful, too, the storms that we did see across parts of Minnesota last night. This tornado, in fact, that we're going to show you was located near Plymouth, Minnesota. It was just west of the metro area, about 7:30
in the near future.
So, Cheryl, I guess we're used to the heat here in the South, but unfortunately for those across the Midwest, they're really not. And it looks like we could warm up by midweek again across the Minneapolis.
Brace yourselves, right?
That's right. And speaking of heat, we also have some heat to talk about in Europe.
That's right. And coming up very shortly, we will check out the weather in Europe, and we'll show you that heat wave that's going on in Portugal and Spain. So stay tuned. Have you ever felt like men and women are from